Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Nathan's 3D Factory. In this episode, I'm doing my candy corn palace, right? And so what I wanted to show you how to do was how to make a clay render out of this, okay? So this is not finished, but you know what? This is progress. And I just wanted to go through how you do a clay render on this. So to start up, we have all these materials. And going through each of these objects one by one and making them into a clay type of a render is just a lot of work. And there are ways that you can actually override this, okay? So what I'm going to do is that I have a reference object here that I have turned off, right? But what I would like to do is just assign it a material that I'm going to use as an override. So I'm going to make a new material, and I'm going to call it clay. Okay? We have that now. And because this is just in the background, if I turn it on, you can see this right here. So as the material applied and everything, it's in my reference collection. But anyway, I'm turning that off. And so I also have it so that it's not going to render because if this is turned on, well, just take a look at this ugly result. So it's going here into render mode, right? And you have this, right? We don't want that. It shows as invisible here in the scene, but it doesn't show invisible in the render. So I thought I'd also give you that. Okay, so we're going to turn that on for turning off the render, right? So next thing that we have here is that if we were to render this right now, obviously we have all these materials. And I can go into rendered, and that's what I have right here. I have this orange-ish background, and I have all these colors, but I don't want those to show up in the final render. So now what I can do is I can say view layer right here is my current render mode, and I'm going to make a new one, okay? So now what we're going to do is that we're going to say, all right, well, I want this turned off. And this one I'm going to call clay. Now, I have to go through these settings right over here. So, right over here, you see like some of these tools here. And then you have Render Engine EV. And then you have all these other things, right? Well, one thing that I want to do is I want to change this from EV to cycles. Okay. Now right here you can see that it just refreshed. I'm going to take that to solid. Okay. So I can do CPU or I can do GPU compute, which also speeds up the time. So I'm not going to make this very high samples for this. I just want to do 100 for all this. Okay. So that's one thing that I found as I was doing renders, right? So some other stuff that we need to look at as well is that we're going to look up what we're going to do for the override material, right? So right here, I'm just looking through this. Okay. So next thing that I'm looking at is that I'm looking at the settings for the render. Okay. Okay, now we're in here in the view layer, right? Now, as I go through, I have all these things right here. I have an override. This is something I only found in cycles, so if we've gotten it in Eevee, I haven't seen it yet. So now I want to have my override for materials to be clay, right? So now if I were to do this, right now, this shows where we have our override for the clay render, right? And then I can also do the same on the world. So we can say, okay, so world, I want to get a new one. And I'll say clay for that one too. So now I take that so that it's just a white background. Nothing fancy. So, and I can even take down the value if I need, because right here you can see that this is very much hard to see. And so I can take down the value and say, all right, let's see. Take that down right there. And then you have this clay render, right? So this gives you an idea of just how easy it is that you can do this clay render and make it so that if you're going to be selling product and you need to have this, it's a really quick way to get it done, right? So that is one step closer to getting your stuff if you're going to be doing 3D printed models and maybe you want to sell the files online, that you can do that you can have your final render and you can also have this clay render. So let me know what you think of this video in the comments below. And if you haven't subscribed to this video, to this channel, please do so and keep up to date with all the new stuff that I get here. And thank you so much for watching Nathan's 3D Factory. Have a great day, guys.